Hey guys, welcome to another interview with Sharing a Drink with Matt. Today I'm talking to videographer Shaye Fox. When was it that you decided that doing this sort of work was your forte, that this is what you wanted to do?
I wanted to do it. This should start the stalling thing on mind. I wanted to do the videography thing, films and stuff, and I went to TAFE to deepen my love for movies and TV. And after TAFE finished, I wasn't really using my camera that much, so that's when I started to ask around the scene and started to film bands.
Yeah. Wow. So talking about that, have you got a favorite director that you?
That's a hard question to man. It really depends on sometimes it's like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Sam Raimi. It really depends on what I'm watching.
Yeah, it's so you're into indie movies, obviously.
Yeah, I like indie movies, although I do like like big Hollywood movies as well. Yeah, I like everything. Really, like as long as it don't really care if the budget's $1 million.
Yeah,
as long as it's entertaining and has artistic merit, I guess.
Yeah, of course. So who you're a bit dark there. Are you able to brighten your light?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a sec. Sorry.
First off, what made you get into wanting to do what you're doing now? This passion of yours. What was the starter?
So ever since I was a kid, I've really loved TV and movies. Like on my escape, they are technically my escape. Like after work or something, I'll usually go to the movies or something.
Shaye Fox. Who's the first band you ever interviewed?
The first band I ever interviewed that's actually a good question. Actually, I'll give you an answer, and it's not going to be something that you're going to expect. When I was in TAFE studying film, one of the major assignments was to make a documentary, and my best friend's dad does work as a tribute artist, and he was doing a Rod Stewart show at the time. So I interviewed him for that documentary because I made a small documentary about tribute artists and stuff. So he was probably the first like band music person I interviewed. But to answer your question, the first punk band that I filmed was a band called Plants. They were the first band I interviewed. Followed shortly by Jay Bloater and Luke from Grimm.
Okay, excellent. So where can we find your work?
So I have a YouTube channel and and all my social media is under it. It's DMWC Films. Stands for Drunk Monkeys with Chainsaws. Because
Drunk Monkeys with Chainsaws.
I thought of that when I was in year 6, and I can't think of a better name that isn't silly or pretentious. So, and it rolls off the tongue.
That's great. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if we've done it since the beginning. Who are your influences? But like you said, you Quentin Tarantino, most indie directors, and that. But who was it really that made you decide, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be doing what this guy's doing.
Honestly, I would probably have to say like Sam Raimi. I think really like watching like the Evil Dead films, especially the first one, because like the first film is just him and a bunch of mates in the woods, and like I kind of thought like if they can do that, I can do that as well. as well as a bunch
Mm.
of YouTubers as well, like a bunch of YouTube filmmakers who like manage to like make really cool videos. And if it's
Mm.
like, well, if those four idiots can do it, then I can do it, you know?
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely. Well, what Quentin Tarantino just started off in a video shop watching movies,
Yeah, exactly.
you know. Yeah. So you went to TAFE to do this. Were you doing anything in that kind of genre before you went to TAFE, or?
When I was a kid, I made a bunch of really, and I mean really bad, like home movies with my friends from high school and my next door neighbors when we were like very young. Like I still have the footage of that. I'm never going to delete it, but I'm never going to watch it again because it's like kind of
Mm.
cringeworthy, you know. But
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
like that with everything, you know. Like your first few creations of art, they're like underdeveloped. So like, you know, you look back and
Mm.
then you think of those times and all the mistakes you made and stuff. You
Yeah.
know.
Are you digital? Do you use digital or?
Yeah,
I
I use digital camcorder. It's a Canon XA50. I'd love to work
oh,
with
okay.
film, but I've heard it's very finicky and very hard to work with. I did briefly use film when I was studying photography at high school, and that was really hard to do. And some of the photos I took weren't that great.
But you know, it's bringing back Quentin up again. Like I'm sure he's got, um, you know, stuff that he did before. You know, he became big that he will never let the public see.
Well,
You know what I mean?
have you ever heard of his unfinished film? Because before Reservoir Dogs, he
Yeah,
made he
I've
made a
heard of it.
movie, and then the ending kind of burned in a film fire or something. So
Yeah, that was at art school. He did that, wasn't it?
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
always been fascinated by that, and I kind of really wish that, you know, fire accident never happened because it would have been
yeah,
cool to see the whole
yeah.
thing, you know.
Oh, definitely, definitely. He, I don't know. He pissed me off a bit. Like, and I know it's a lot like Inglorious Bastards, where he changed
History.
history, and Hitler died in a movie theater. But I was really looking forward to watching a movie about Quentin Tarantino, about Charles Manson, and
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah, and like the ending to that, I had to go back in my head and say, look, it's Quentin.
Yeah.
He's gonna, you know, he fucks with history. This is what he does. But it did end up being a bit entertaining at the end. But yeah, it
Yeah, I
was a
enjoyed the
letdown.
film, but I don't think it's his best work.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely. Can I ask you what you think his best work is?
To be honest, I think it's either Reservoir Dogs or Jackie Brown. I like Jackie Brown, and I think that's a very underrated movie of his. Like when
Yeah.
people talk about Quentin
Mm.
Tarantino, they're always talking about Reservoir Dogs and Glorious Bastard, The Kill Bills, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Death Proof.
Yeah. Death Proof. Yeah. Yeah. No, he is brilliant. He is brilliant. Have you ever filmed a gig that you've been to a gig you filmed that's been a total washout that you've gone, nah, I'm not using this, or
Yeah, a couple of times.
yeah.
The there's been a couple of times where like because when I'm editing and when I'm filming gigs, I like to give it like 100%, you know, because I want it to be good, want it to be you know, a good representation on me and my films. But there was this one band that I've forgotten the name of, and they were just really, really bad. And the only reason I was filming them was because I was good mates with the drummer.
Oh,
And
okay.
funny thing
Yeah.
about that band is I filmed their first, their second, and their last gig. So they only lasted 3 gigs.
Wow. Wow. So is that why you were friends with the drummer, or you still are friends with?
No, I was friends with the drummer long beforehand. He's a pretty cool
Yeah,
dude. I think
definitely.
he's just working on solo stuff now. He's not really in a band anymore. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's doing some cool stuff. Shout out to Doug.
excellent. Is there like do they know they obviously you deal with the band, you talk with the band, you say, okay, I'm filming this. Do they ever try to have input into what they want?
Sometimes bands will say like, we really want to get some great footage of this song because we might use it in a music video or something. And
Yep.
so they just kind of ask, like really go hard on this particular song.
Yeah.
But besides that, not really. Like sometimes people are like, oh, maybe the left side of the stage would be a better view, but I do get a couple of people try and jokingly say, film me on my good side.
Yeah. So there's never been like any pretentious guys going, look, we want it done like this. We want this way,
No,
Have they
not
tried
really.
to be the boss of it all? They've always left it in your hands.
Yeah, they've always left it in my hand. Like, yeah, like
Yep.
I've been in the punk scene for a couple of years and I haven't really dealt with many dicks. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a scene where there isn't that many dicks because you can't. I think like bands that are like Green Day and that have just gone and totally turned it around and gone from this to that. But in the punk genre, I find, and I've been in the scene since '83, and I find that like there's not really many fuckwits that are in the punk scene,
And if there are, they're not in there long.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done some documentaries.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I made and released a punk rock documentary called "Unearthing the Underground." People seem to like it, and
Okay.
I'm working on a sequel right now. Currently editing the second cut of it because the first cut of it was 2 hours long, and that's too long. So I've been improving it and adding little things and trying to get it down to an hour and a half. I've got to cut it down like a pesky 8 minutes, and it's been super hard, like because I love everything in it. And it's like, I got to cut it down to 8 minutes.
It's I don't know. I've always been interested in do you do film clips?
I've done music clips for bands. Actually, the funny thing is, before this interview started, I was actually working on a music video for the band Froth Dogs. I was literally just editing it. Yeah, I did that, filmed that last week actually. So
excellent. Other bands that you've done film clips?
I've done film clips for a band called The Social Norm. Although I didn't edit that, I just gave them the footage and they played with it themselves. I've filmed a music video for the band Plants for the song Can't Fucked, which actually got into a local film festival, which was wild.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's
funniest thing ever, like the host just saying like, and next year's and having to say Can't Fucked. And I've also filmed a few videos for a band called Three Broken Strings, which they've all been pretty cool. I'd love to film some more music videos because they're a lot of fun to do.
Oh, for sure, it'd be great. And again,
also,
yes,
I that Owen Gunt's newest video, pulling up the boots. I edited that music video.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I'll tell you the funny thing about this. I think it was during the lockdown, and I was on the Aussie punk site, and bored as shit. And so I used to post 2 songs on the site every day, and it was just my thing. And one day I couldn't think of a fucking band that I hadn't already done, and I thought, well, I'll do a music soundtrack song, and it was actually Pulling on the Boots. And Sean send me a message going, you fucking, this is racist, this is blah, blah, blah. You know, like it was a big thing. And I was talking to him at the Top Naval gig last week, and he was saying there was another person there, and he goes, Matt, he was actually the incentive of actually doing that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was because I posted that song, and we ended up becoming, you know, good friends. Like we talk a bit now.
Yeah,
And
Sean's a cool guy.
Yeah, Sean's great. Like, but
He's a
was
shit stirrer,
funny,
but he's a
man.
great guy.
Yeah, he is. He is. Sometimes I'm getting to know him a lot more. Sometimes you don't know if he's serious or not, or you know, or tongue in cheek. But yeah, so yeah. And the next day after I did that Romper Stomper post, I did a band, World War 24, and they the song Dykes, and he commented, "Oh, so you're not just a racist, you're homophobic as well."
Yeah.
Oh, my fucking God. And I'm not racist. My
Yeah.
wife's Aboriginal. I've
Yeah,
got
of
an
course.
Aboriginal wife and 8 Aboriginal kids. So it's like, it was just a thing. But because I didn't leave a comment on it saying what it was for or anything, it was just like, oh, this guy is pasted. He didn't know me. We hadn't spoken
an honest
before.
mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was the one that put it through my head, really, to start interviewing bands. And like, I think it was the 5th band I interviewed, and yeah, it was just,
It was a good interview. I watched it on the way to work this week, actually.
Yep. He's a great guy. Sorry. Have you ever done docos on any other genre than punk? Other than
Not yet, but
no.
but I'm wanting to, once I'm finished with this big punk doco, I'm going to start working on little mini docos that are like 15 to 20 minutes long. I've got like a big list of stuff like record shops, Dungeons and Dragons, stand-up comedy, the Punk's Picnic, and yeah, I've got a bunch of other like projects that I'm really excited to do once like I'm not putting everything on, you know, this feature length, you know, punk doco, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So you were saying that you've got something coming up with Tyrone.
Yeah, so for that doco, there's a section called about funny stories. You know, what's a funny story that's happened at a gig? And the first doco I did that with, it was a big hit. Like, people really loved that section. It's my favorite part of the first doco as well. And so I thought, I'm going to do that question again, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I'm going to get cool artists to illustrate points in the story. So for example, if someone said, after a gig, I got hit by a bus, it would cut to a drawing of, you know, that person getting hit by a bus. So I asked Tyrone and a bunch of other really cool artists like Jabin from Don't Praise the Machine, Dan from Numbskull, and I'm going to get some others to do some cool art. But I think that's going to really elevate that section of the doco, just make it a lot funnier and stuff.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No,
I'll show you the image. I'll send the image to you after this interview on Messenger.
If you look onto my interviews and you see that drawing of sharing a drink with Matt, that was actually done by Tyrone.
Yeah, he's got a very distinct style that I really like. And the moment I saw that logo, I was like, oh, that's Tyrone.
Yeah, definitely. And it was great because, like, 24 hours a day, I won't leave the house without my black hat, a band shirt over a long shirt, and a beer in my hand, kind of thing. And and the drawing he done of me, it was just like, oh my God, this is me down to a T. And I didn't even ask him for it. He just sent it to me after I interviewed him once.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy, and I love his animations for like Rents, the Left Hard ones that he's done, the one that he's done for Speedball. They've all been really fantastic.
Mm.
He's even managed to get it on Rage, which is like really cool.
Yeah. I heard he over in America or something, he got an award or
Yeah, he's
a
gotten accepted
nomination or something.
into a film festival in the States, which
Yeah,
is really cool.
that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
good to
honestly hope
see.
Tyrone gets bigger and bigger and bigger because the work he does is fantastic. Like he's a
Mm.
machine, man.
Yeah. Would you do a documentary on him as just him? Like
Yeah, I think actually that'd be an interesting subject. Just kind of like
it would.
following him around for like documenting him making an illustration or like him making a music video. I think that would actually I'll add that to the list actually. If Tyrone's cool
Yeah.
with that, I'll add it to the list.
Oh, for sure. No, I reckon that'd be a great documentary. Because that's what we're trying to do. You, me, Tyrone, and then we're trying to
Document the scene.
yeah, document the scene and promote Australian music that otherwise wouldn't be promoted.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
We've lost your picture.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're back. You're back. You know, like, and
Yeah, I agree. Like, how many awesome gigs back in the day that you've gone to? There's no photos, there's no audio, there's no video.
No,
There's reviews
no.
possibly, but like you can only go so far off a review from Jimmy the gig reviewer and stuff.
Yeah.
So like documenting the scene via interviews like you're doing, music videos like Tyrone's doing, it's always like not to sound, pretentious or something, but like it's documenting history in a way, like this particular era of the scene,
Yep. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Have you ever seen the documentary called Hated about G.G. Allen?
No, I haven't, but it's on. I've got like a huge list of movies that I haven't watched, and that's definitely on there. He's an interesting cat, that G.G. Allen.
My God,
to put it lightly.
Yeah, to put it lightly. I was actually at a gig not long ago, and I'm in the toilets, and there was an actual G.G. Allen sticker.
Oh wow, that's cool.
In the toilet, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know how long this venue's been here or anything, or why someone would even have a G.G. Allen. I've actually got Merle Allen, his brother. I've got him booked in September for an interview,
cool.
which will be, that's going to be really different. I think he wasn't as fucked up as his brother, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. He's still he lived with the guy and spent every living moment with the guy for how many years?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure. And I first got into asking him about it. It was a Charles Manson thing over in America. It was they have a party for him every year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, and I was at the party on live, like I'm in Australia, but I was at this party on live. Yeah, and I ended up speaking to a few people, and then Mel popped up and he goes, "Oh, drunk as all this sort of shit," and we ended up. How do you think social media has it's probably it's been around since you've done what you've done, but how do you think social media's affected the things that you do, things that Tyrone does, the bands?
I think social media is a mixed bag. There's a lot of good and also there's a lot of bad stuff with it. For example, without social media, I wouldn't be able to put up my gigs up on YouTube. But also there's people who are acting horrible and trolling people and making people's lives horrible. And you get a platform to those types of people, and you probably shouldn't have a platform. And so there's good and bad. Like for specifically the punk scene, though, I think it's actually really good because you can distribute where a gig's at very easily. For example, I'm in Penrith New South Wales, and I know what a gig's happening on in Melbourne right now if I really wanted to. So good and bad, you know.
It would have been. Sorry, I just got to speak to Jeff for a sec. I think it's Woodstock, Jeff. I'm drinking Woodstock at the moment.
No, very nice.
Yeah, no,
I'm unfortunately drinking water, but you know, you got to stay hydrated. I'm still technically having a drink with Matt. Sorry, sharing a drink with Matt.
Yeah, I've actually I think 3/4 of the bands have drunk with me, but a lot of the bands have been teetotalers and that. But you know, it's just
personal preference.
Yeah. What's the future look like for you in your mind? What have you?
My goal is ultimately because right now this is a hobby. Like, it's a hobby I love doing, but it's a hobby. It's something I do Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday, and sometimes Thursday if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I would love to do that as a full-time job. Like, I would love to be able to film bands for a living, or film pro wrestling for a living, or film burlesque for a living, because those are also some other stuff I film. So that would be really cool. Or alternatively, working in TV and or movies. Like, for example, I'm planning on going back to film school next year so that I can, you know, remind myself, get better, learn some new stuff, and hopefully get in a better position where I can possibly work in like TV or movies, and you know, work on the dream full time instead of on, you know, the weekend.
Yeah. I just had the greatest question. Is there anything you wouldn't do? Like, okay, say you have a friend and they say, "Oh, I've got a friend that does a lot of filming in home and away. He's looking for someone." Would you go into
I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I actually know some people who used to be an extra on Home and Away. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but yeah, he was in the background, you know, doing featured, extra stuff.
So there's nothing you wouldn't do?
There's some stuff that I wouldn't do, like, you know, I wouldn't obviously do like, probably not. That's not really my scene. Or like, you know, things that are, you know, like filming cannibals or something like that, like in real life. But
for sure.
I'd probably film everything except for like stuff that's super illegal. Like, I guess, you know, there's a blurry line there between like, you know, doing shows in parks and stuff, because that's technically on the border edge. But yeah, I wouldn't film like people doing drugs or stuff like that.
No. And unless it was, what if it was a documentary, say, that you wanted to do a documentary about the homeless people in Sydney?
Yeah, honestly, I would probably do that. That I would probably do. But if it was just like out of the context of a documentary or a story, and it was just, you know, Jeffrey the cokehead doing 27 lines of cocaine, then I probably wouldn't film that.
No, of course.
Also, funerals. I've filmed one, and I really don't want to film funerals again, just because it was a bit heavy.
I don't think I'd even want my funeral to be filmed, to be quite honest.
To be fair, though, it was for a good reason. My granddad was in hospital at the time and couldn't go to this funeral, so I filmed it for him, and so he could watch it.
Yeah, definitely. Have you filmed weddings?
Yeah, I filmed one wedding. Surprisingly, everything went well. The bride and groom were happy with the video, which is great. I'm happy about that. But I've heard mixed things about filming weddings, because everything's got to be perfect. So yeah, like it'd be an interesting challenge. I'd be open to filming it.
Yeah, for sure. What about would you like live out in a mission for 6 months in Western Australia and
that'd be cool.
You do stuff like that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would if I had the budget, I would do anything. Like I had the idea of like going to, because a band that I'm friends with, Slosh Pit and the culture industry, they went over to Indonesia for a small tour,
Yeah.
and they were telling me about like the music scene there and how it can only go for like 6 months and then it can't because of like religious reasons of that country. And I was thinking it'd be awesome to go over there and just film and document for 6 months and then make like a documentary and put all the gigs up on YouTube and stuff. So I would
Yeah.
definitely love to do
Mm.
that, love to do an adventure.
Yeah. I think
All about
Denzel
adventures.
yeah, yeah. I think Denzel from the culture industry is a bit hungover today or something. I had a 1 o'clock interview with him, and he's like, "I'm feeling shit house. Can we fucking can we reschedule?" And yeah, okay, it's all right. But yeah,
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 like I've got
yeah,
heaps of ideas that I'd love to do if I didn't have the budget of a ham sandwich. Like
yeah,
right when COVID was finishing, had the idea of like going to each state and spending 1 week there and just interviewing and filming bands, and then like
wow,
making it a documentary showing like how each little tiny scene has been recovering from like COVID and bringing back the music
mm,
scene and stuff. But
yeah.
again, that would cost me about an arm and a leg, and but I'd love to do it.
And our government, do they have grants for things like this? Or
Yeah, they have grants. I haven't actually looked that deep into grants, but it's definitely something that I have been meaning to doing research, because I'd love to do more bigger budget stuff than like right now I describe my filming style as ham sandwich filmmaking, because I got the budget of a ham sandwich, not even a good ham
yeah,
sandwich.
yeah. Oh, well, it seems like, you're not a one-off kind of thing. You've done more than, your fair share. So you're obviously doing the right thing. Like you've done 2 bands, say, and like they haven't given you a bad review yet. You
Yeah,
haven't gotten a bad review, so you've still got. So like
yeah,
when I started doing this show, like my wife was going like, it's not good, this is not going to happen. Your head's in the air, in the clouds, blah blah blah. But and I put it up. I want to start interviewing bands, while having a drink, and I had 40 bands saying, yeah, we're keen within a week.
yeah.
And
It's
this was
great how the punk scene's like that. That happened
yeah,
to me too when I was asking, "Hey, I'm making a punk doco. Would anyone be interested in being a part of it?" And like, there was just tons of
mm,
bands. Like
yeah,
I've interviewed 75 bands for this doco.
wow. Wow. And what is that? Is that coming out on social media, or is this going to be a movie style thing that you have to actually?
So the plan is for the sequel to follow the original one. So the original one, I did a run of DVDs with Inner City Uprising.
Oh,
We
cool.
did
Yeah.
a screening in Sydney. We did 2 screenings in Wollongong, and then we put it up on YouTube because I don't want people to have a pay barrier between me and my art. Like I
Yeah.
want everyone and anyone to watch it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they want
Yeah.
to see it in the big screen, awesome. They want to have a one of a kind DVD, awesome.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Definitely. Oh, it's just a hard. And I said this with Tyrone. I said it's like not what I'm usually
Yeah, I'm
into.
a bit out of the box because I'm not in a band right now.
Yeah, no, but there's still so much we can talk about. It's just, trying to work out how to ask the questions. What would you be doing now if you weren't doing this?
Um,
Like you said, it's only it's not a permanent thing that you like a daily job.
Yeah.
But have you got a fallback if
Uh, yeah. I mean, if I do work in warehousing as my Monday to Friday, so I do have a fallback if things spectacularly go wrong. But honestly, even if things are gonna keep going wrong, I'm gonna keep going at it because like it's a childhood dream, and I can sleep at night if I've given it a go. If I've given it a go, I can go to bed at night.
um being a filmmaker as such, do you get many ideas from watching documentaries, watching movies,
Yeah.
watching live shows?
The Unearthing the Underground doco. I got that idea off watching the what's it called, that Penelope Spears documentary, The Decline of Western Civilization. I was watching that on a long train ride home, and I was like, oh, I can make something similar. I can rip this off. And
yeah, definitely.
But I've also
and I think that
oh, sorry.
I think the Decline of Western Civilization was a rip-off of earlier documentary anyway.
Really? Do you know what it's called? Because I'll give it a watch if you know what it's called.
I'll have to get back at it. I can look it up on YouTube because I'm not on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Oh yeah, it's a great service, that.
Yeah. No, I saw the Descendants documentary they did. Like
yeah, it's a fantastic doco. I watched it.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Well, they got the G.G. Allen one on there too.
Oh, okay. I'll watch it there then.
Yeah. And they got a Johnny Thunders one, and so doing what you're doing. Has there ever been? I think I've asked this, but I'll ask it in a different way. Has there ever been arguments in like how you want it done or how they want it done, or have you said, "Look, mate, I think it's actually is going to be better if we do it this way," or
I wouldn't say an argument, but there has been times where there's been conversations where people have like kind of given me suggestions that I don't think would work, and then I explained my position and they understood it, and then either we found something in the middle or I just did it my way. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, like I've seen videos or things on YouTube especially, but back in the day of video as well, of the filming of bands just at a small venue and that, and like the sound's pretty shit house. And I mean, how do you go about sound? Are you connected to the sound desk?
No, I'm not, but I do have a originally I used to use a shotgun mic connected to my camera, but after years and years and years and years of it being used for punk music and like noise and stuff, it blew up. It doesn't work anymore. Like here it is now, actually, though, like it's just on my desk. But I got a Zoom recorder, like a handheld portable field recorder. So what I do is I'll just find like a safe spot in the middle of a venue and just put it there. And usually that gets the music from behind, whilst my camera mic gets it from the front. And I usually just mix it together. So I just add like most of it the Zoom recording, but add a little bit of the actual camera audio as well to make it sound more fuller.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. I know how to put this. So someone comes up to you and says, this is we're going to keep going over this bit because I'm just trying to understand. But someone comes up to you and says, look, mate, I've heard good things. I want you to record our concert and everything. Is there a band that you would, or a genre or something that you would say no to? hip hop
Probably,
or
probably not actually. Like, I'm a big music fan, so like I listen to mostly punk and metal these days. But I do like rock music, old school stuff, bit of electronica. The only like real music genre that I don't like, and that's because I haven't really dug that deep into it, is country music. So
yeah, yeah.
if I get offered to film music, I'll happily film it. Like I've even
Mm.
worked as a lighting guy on a few rap music videos,
Oh wow.
helping out a friend who
Yep.
films rap videos as a holding like a handheld light and just like swiveling it around and
Mhm.
stuff.
Wow. Wow. So you haven't just done live stuff at venues. You've actually done a few film clips
Yes.
for some bands, and um, you're given a thing. You're given a okay. This is what we want the film clip to be like. This is um, how we want this. This is how we want that. But we want you to do it the way we wanted to, but in your style.
Yeah, that's happened heaps of times. I've been given like
Yeah.
a basic idea, or like the band's like come up with a ton of ideas, and yeah, I'll film those ideas,
Mm.
try and keep it like within those ideas, but also do it in my style and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if I have a style, but like, but yeah, just try and film it my way. But like, if they've got like a good suggestion of like, hey, maybe film it this way, I'll give it a go, because with a
Yeah.
music video, you can do it over and over. You can take as many takes as you want. Whilst with
Mm.
live footage, if you mess
Yeah.
up, you know, you don't really have a
Mm.
chance to fix it with editing unless you have a second camera. But
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I
And
love the the way that like ideas can just come up like that when filming music videos and stuff.
yeah. And did they come up while you're filming it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where someone will say a joke, or someone will just see something and get an idea, and then we'll film it. And if it works, it's in the music video. And if it isn't
Yeah.
in the music video, well, then it didn't really work. Or yeah, like for example, for the Froth Dogs music video they filmed, it's for a song called Mum's House. So they had one of their mates dress up in like a dress and a wig and stuff. And during like the chorus, one of the takes was the mum character just cleaning up like the drums, the amps, and like cleaning up like the bass player's bass. And it was really
Uh,
funny, and
yeah.
that just came spur of the moment. And yeah, it's going to be in the music video because it's really funny.
Yeah. So you were talking about you've done short movies as a young'un. Um, if you were given the grant, if you were given money to do a movie, what kind of what would your genre be? Would it be indie or
Yeah, I can tell you what my if I had like a huge budget, this is the movie I'd make. I had this idea in high school. It's an idea called Rock Heist, and the idea is basically three friends live in the middle of nowhere country, Australia, and they find out that their favorite band's breaking up, and they're playing one last show at insert major city here. So they decide to fund their trip to go and see their band. They go out and rob all their local pubs,
excellent?
and
Yeah,
yeah, kind of make it like a crime comedy kind of thing. Like if I had like a huge budget, I would definitely do that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like kind of the twist is like the main character feels really bad about robbing all those pubs, but his two mates really get hooked on doing crimes, and they start doing a crime spree, like robbing a servo, stealing stuff and just causing chaos and stuff.
I don't want you to ruin the ending for us, but do they ever get to see that band?
Um, I haven't figured that part out yet. Like that's
Uh,
honestly the hardest part, because either ending A, they get arrested, or ending B, they see the band and then they get arrested. I still haven't figured out
yeah,
which one.
yeah.
Either
or
way,
they're
they get,
halfway through the show and
Yeah.
they get arrested,
yeah, like
or they get asked for ID and then yeah. But hey, you could have the band bailing them out.
yeah. My video's gone. Let me
Yeah.
just.
Going again.
Oh, jeez. Again, sorry for the technical issues. I
No.
apologize. Oh. Hey, there I am again.
Here we go. Here we go. We can.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Here I'm saying we can. Jeff can. He'll work
Yeah.
that out. I don't know. Have you ever watched the movie Snowtown?
Yeah, I've watched Snowtown. It's definitely an intense film.
It isn't it? Have you watched any of his other work?
No, I haven't, but I know he's made a film based on the Port Arthur shooter.
Yes,
That's
it's
his
called
latest film.
It's called Nitram.
Yeah, is that any good?
It's great. It's great. And he's like, as he did in Snowtown, where he had 2 actors and the rest of the cast he got from Snowtown.
Yeah,
They were just people that he said, look, I'm doing a movie on this Bodies in the Barrels. Yeah.
yeah.
And
It
then
definitely adds a unique edge to the film, like because they're not
for
experienced
sure.
actors, you know.
Yeah, it was great. But then his second movie had Russell Crowe in it.
Oh, really? What was his second movie?
It was the true story of the Kelly Gang.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely heard of that. I haven't watched that, but I've heard it's all right.
Watch it. It's amazing. It is an amazing movie. But then he did Nitram, which in the movie Nitram, he never mentions Martin Bryant, the Port Arthur massacre, the Port Arthur guy. He never mentions him by name. He actually calls it Nitram, which is Martin backwards.
Yeah.
And like I just think that sort of filmmaking, like where you, okay, you've got your couple of actors there to get everyone up to speed and all that sort of shit, and having people that have never acted before in their lives, like he, for the Nitram and for Snowtown, he pulled that off really well. And I think that Snowtown was done on a really, really short budget.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Marvel movie budget or anything like that.
No, it wasn't even like a fucking Brady Bunch budget,
Yeah.
I think he didn't spend much money at all doing them.
That's the best type of movie though, like low budget. Well, I was going to say horror movies, but this is more like true crime.
Yeah, definitely. And well, even the Ned Kelly, that was true crime, and it's called the
True Crime.
Yeah, exactly. But he called the movie, the second movie he did, The True Story of the Kelly Gang, and then in the underneath it he said none of this movie is true. But if you watch any Ned Kelly movie, he's got it down pat. He just puts his own flavor into it,
little embellishments and stuff.
Yeah, which is like going back to that question about how I was asking you how do you get the steering wheel when you are filming, and anyway we got to make well, this will just be edited down as
of course.
It's just it's like with bands you've got so many questions that you can ask them, like
I get it, like
well, you watched this was exactly the way the Tyrone one went.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good interview. I've watched a couple of your interviews. Like, that's why it's so cool to be on this, because I'm a genuine fan of your YouTube videos. So, don't have been on here, mate.
No, but the Tyrone interview was just the same. It was just my editor. I've got such a great editor that he made it. Like he took out the bits where I'm going,
Yeah.
you know, have I asked that before? How do I? Yeah.
You don't
So,
realize how big an editor's role is until you need to, until you do.
oh mate, I don't know. Yeah, like you've got like not Saturday Night Live. Like you've got the late night show with and they interview actors and they interview musicians, they interview filmmakers, dancers, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm learning as
Yeah, you're doing your own version of a late night show.
Yeah, I'm learning as an interviewer, and that's why I thought when I read your story, I thought, yeah, I really, because the same as when I read Tyrone's, I thought, yeah, I really would, because this is what I'm trying to do is exactly what they're trying to do.
Mm.
You know, this thing we love, you guys are trying to do the same thing. Do you work with anybody? Like when have you got like your little roadies that do anything?
Right now it's just me. People have asked if you know, if I ever need some help, just ask. But I haven't been in a situation where like I've needed a lot of help. Sometimes if, you know, I see like a really good mobile footage shot, I'll ask the person, you know, hey, can I have permission to use your footage? That's happened a couple of times for bands that I've interviewed that I haven't gotten footage for. And there's like, you know, Dweeb City live, and I can just email that person and get permission to use the footage. And the only thing that people ask usually is just to credit them, which is totally fair. Like if you're going to use my footage, happy for you to use it, but just, you know, put my name somewhere.
Yeah, definitely, 100%, 100%. So doing what you're doing, and that we've spoken about it with you do a movie, you want it to be this way. Have you got faith in yourself to do like because that was his first movie, the guy that did Snowtown kind of thing, and he done it on such a cheap budget and without good actors and everything, but he made it an actual entertaining, not entertaining as in wow.
Ooh, yeah,
but yeah,
boys and barrels,
you know,
yeah.
They're killing that guy, magic. Do you think you like? Have you got?
I think
I
would. I think I'd be able to do it. Obviously, you know, like I haven't done it yet, but I do have faith that if I were given a situation to make it or make a short film version of it, I think I could get it done. Hopefully, probably, yeah. If I had to do it as a short film, obviously it wouldn't be as a grand of a scale, but like I think I can do it. And there's other ideas that I have that are like, you know, not like millions of dollars or something, you know, like there's ideas that I have for big budgets and short budgets, but I think I do have the confidence to do it, hopefully. Which is kind of funny because, you know, I have confidence myself, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And you're the little short movies that you made when you were younger with your friends from school and people in the street, what were they like?
The ones that I did with my sister and the next door neighbors, we made like our own terrible versions of the Harry Potter films that were filmed on VHS. So hopefully I'll never see that film again because, oh my God, I think I'll cringe so hard that my soul will feel it. But a lot of the high school stuff, I'll still watch occasionally, but like I'm never going to put that up publicly on YouTube. Although some of my stuff is publicly up on YouTube. Like you can watch a short film I made called 7 Days to Kill or Trapped in the Movies, the two short films I made in high school that are not that great, but if you want to watch them, watch them.
Yeah, but do you ever really want to, like, take the idea that you did back then and with the knowledge and the professionalism that you have now, have you ever thought?
I've thought about doing that. For my first short film that I made in high school, it was called Trapped in the Movies. And the idea was two main characters are stuck in a DVD player and they've got to go through iconic scenes in movies and like get like a device that will get them out of the DVD player before the DVD player stops working. Like, I think that's a really cool idea. And I think I could do something interesting with that. And the only thing I would change is I wouldn't do specific stuff. So like when I was a kid, I was like, let's do a parody of Star Wars and Pulp Fiction and stuff. You know, when we're like 14 and like literally don't have the means to do that. So instead of specifics, I think parodying genres like sci-fi, action, horror, I think that would really work a lot better than like, you know, microscoping on specific movies and scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, so it wouldn't be a DVD player these days. It'd be like a trapped in the Netflix or something like that.
Yeah. So, just had that question. Do you have that idea that you've said before, like you want to do this movie and this is how you want to do it or anything, but do you have that idea ever that popped in your head and you've thought, well, I don't think I'm capable of doing this, or I'm biting off more than I could chew?
Yes, there was a specific movie I had an idea for where I wanted to make a movie or a short film about like this truck driver who's driving in the middle of the night from one area to another, and he's forgotten to take his antipsychotic medication and he starts to like hallucinate monsters and stuff. And like it would probably be like little to no dialogue and just him slowly going crazy over like the course of the night. But I don't know how to write that. Like it's a good idea, but I just don't know how to put it words to script yet. Like yeah.
But those are the kind of movies that really trap you, you know, like that movie, I can't remember who the actor was, where the whole movie he's in a coffin.
Ryan Reynolds. I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. Like how that would, I don't know, for me that would be a really hard movie to make.
Yeah. You'd have to be very claustrophobic and stuff, you know.
Yeah. And same with the one with the guy from Legends and all that sort of stuff. What's his name? He played Batman in one of the Marvel movies. Not Batman. Fucking, he played someone. Anyway, but the whole movie is him driving in a car, talking to his wife on the phone, and like phone booth.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, is that something that you like? Do you reckon you could attempt? And because it sounds like what you were talking about before, like that you could attempt that.
I think I could give it a go at the bare minimum. Like, willing to give it a go. You know,
of course, you're going to have to think of a different thing, like not stuck in a phone booth, stuck in a car, or stuck in a. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of movies out there where, wow, this is like different to anything I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the concepts, like with the Ring, things like that. Like, would you do horror?
Yeah, I love horror. I would love to do a horror like that. That truck idea was like a horror movie idea. Like I've gotten some good ideas and some really bad ideas for horror movies, but I'll tell you an idea that I had in TAFE. It was these bunch of people are trying to summon like a demon or something, and then they accidentally summon the Grim Reaper, and then through the course of the short film, like they all die in ridiculous ways, you know, like and the Grim Reaper is just making turns of phrase and stuff, like,
Yep.
geez,
Yep.
don't jump out of a window or anything. And then one of the characters just goes crazy and jumps out of a window.
Excellent. So like those movies with just the one character. Well, I saw not long ago, I watched this movie, and all it was a video, a computer screen. And what happened was these 5 friends bullied this girl bad enough to make her commit suicide.
Yeah.
And then she came back through the computer and started
Possess
playing
the computer and stuff.
yeah, and started playing games with these 5 people that were on video link.
Yeah. Oh,
You
that's
know?
Unfriended, I believe.
That's the one. Like, how fucking brilliant was that? You
Yeah,
know?
and it's pretty easy to film. They're just like,
how much money would you need to do that? It's all it is a computer screen.
honestly, you just need a budget to hire actors and a good editor. Just because like the film was basically shot like this. They just had like all the actors just in slightly different locations around a house, just talking over like, video screens, and then like they would run through it a couple of times and then just edit the basic takes. Sorry, edit the best takes together. So something like that would be pretty easy, pretty cheap to do, and it was a pretty good idea. Haven't watched it in a while. I remember enjoying it at the time, but haven't seen it in a hot minute. So maybe it's good, maybe it's not.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Like, at first, it pissed me off because they were typing, and sometimes you couldn't read what they were typing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? But a question I ask even the bands, have you got any? Because you've been doing this for nearly
since 2019.
Yeah, what you're doing now, like
the punk scene since 2019. I began filming events and stuff since on and off since 2015, but the punk stuff and the metal stuff that started in 2019.
So have you got advice for any young people that are wanting to get into this?
Honestly, like you don't need like the fanciest equipment. You don't need like to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on like the best gear. Like, get something that works and looks good and sounds good, and people most of the time won't even comment on it. Like, you don't need like, again, it goes the same with musicians. I'm pretty sure someone said that, like, you don't need like the bass guitar that Paul Stanley uses, well, Gene Simmons uses and stuff to be a fantastic bassist. And honestly, just give it a go, have fun, and just make sure that like you really enjoy doing it, because it is fun, but there are some aspects of it that aren't like as I said earlier with social media, there's good things and bad things about it. So you just gotta weigh up if you wanna do this as a hobby, or try and do it full time, because it is an expensive hobby to do.
Yeah. As you were just saying, it's an expensive hobby to do, but I think like.
But even then, you can do it on phones. Phones have fantastic cameras and stuff. Like, for example, there's Lee Hawkins is a bassist in the band Numbskull, but he also goes around to gigs and films stuff on his phone. So it's fantastic, so you don't need the greatest gear. Or a guy named Rohan from the band Avian Terror and Maggot Cave, I believe. Maggot Cave. Well, he was in Maggot Cave last time I talked to him. But yeah, he films stuff on his phone too, and it looks fantastic. So if you don't have a cool camera, use your phone, and like you'll get some really cool stuff there.
And sometimes the raw stuff is the best. Yeah,
exactly. Some stuff I've filmed and I've compared to stuff that someone's filmed on a phone, and I'm like, wow, this phone footage is fantastic. Like,
definitely. How I usually end the interviews. just give us a spiel about Shaye Fox, and like put it out
Plug
there.
myself.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sorry.
talk
Okay.
about yourself.
All right. Hello there, dear viewer. If you've managed to get through this whole interview, good on you. My name is Shaye Fox. I do videography work under the name DMWC Films. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under DMWC Films. If you want me to film a live gig, hit me up in one of those places. If you want me to film a music video of yours, would love to do it. Would love the challenge. I also have filmed pro wrestling and burlesque before, so I've not only just filmed punk and stuff, but yeah, if you want me to film one of your gigs or just say hi, just shoot me a message there, or you can email me at dmwcfilms@gmail.com.
Excellent, man. Thank you so much. Hey, like, it's just so good interviewing you, because I'm just trying to show the diversity of the entertainment industry, and it's been great chatting you, man.
Yeah, it's been great to be on, and thank you for letting me be a part of your show. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for saying yes. I really appreciate it.
Finding out what's new. Yes, if I could, I would.